but it hasn't always been easy. Our only crime, perhaps, is trying to revolutionize our healthcare system, for example, to equip our hospitals, to build modern hospitals. Maybe our crime was wanting to revolutionize our educational system, to build schools up to standards, to change our curricula. Our crime might be having allowed our farmers to have cheaper fertilizer, to plow their fields for free, so that we can achieve food self-sufficiency. Or our crime might be wanting to build road and rail infrastructures so that our people can move around. In short, everything we try to do, I think some have always tried. Unfortunately, the Salan slaves, the Africans who blindly follow the imperialists, have tried to discourage us. There is no reason to be demotivated, because history has always proven us right, and history will continue to prove us right. Today, so many things grow on our soil. When we initially announced that we wanted to embark on this agriculture, they thought we were crazy. They said it wouldn't work. Today our cocoa is doing very well. Sunflower is thriving in Burkina. Our wheat is doing very well. In short, there are so many crops we have tried, but they tried to discourage us. If you want to break with these imperialist forces, it's simple. We denounce the agreements. Everything starts from there. I think the example of Chad in any case is tangible. They started by denouncing the agreements. Otherwise, if we don't denounce the agreements, just saying that the bases leave, we haven't done anything. Because the problem lies in the colonial agreements, the defenses that have been signed since independence. The most dangerous is not the one you see in the bases. The most dangerous are the military advisors. We took responsibility. And who are these military advisors? They are the ones who are supposed to implement France's policy. Here, they must work to make our armies very weak, so that France can always have the argument to exist here. Under their influence, they had succeeded. Our sentinels were therefore standing guard with sticks. That's what France wants from our armies. When we reach this stage, we have no choice but to want them to come and settle. But the Burkinabe army managed to get rid of the military advisors. Unfortunately, I think that in 2019, after Operation Otapono, where the French saw that the Burkinabe army still had the capacity to respond to terrorists, they called the chiefs of staff in France. They instructed him to reintegrate the military advisors throughout the structure. Well, they did not agree. But upon returning to the country, the politicians instructed him to accept the military advisors. And that's when the military advisors returned to the Burkinabe army in 2019. With all the consequences we know, the army was on the verge of disappearing in the years 2020-2021. And indeed, this is the time when many soldiers had to desert because there was no longer any hope. We were in the process of collapsing. That's a bit how they work at the General Staff headquarters. In all army headquarters, in the schools, they are the ones who are supposed to dictate the policy of our army. They are the ones who tell us when to recruit, how to recruit, and what to do with them. They are in the schools to tell us how to train them, and so on. As long as these military advisors are there, you are not independent. Your army will just have the appearance of an army that is there to perform parades, a circus. But you have to break the agreements. It's the only way to have an independent army and build strength. But many people do not understand this, perhaps. And even with these agreements, France selects from our states officer cadets to go and train them. It's through these same agreements. But in reality, these officers who go to train, for the most part for France, they come to serve the French state in their country. They do not come to serve our countries. They train them so that they come to serve the interests of the French state. I can provide evidence of this. When we revolted, many officers in Burkina who were trained in France were immediately contacted to tell them that it was time to take action, because you were trained for this, to serve France's interests. Most of these officers reported back to us. We took note and we continued to monitor. When an officer trained in France returns to his country and unfortunately dies, either by accident or on the battlefield. In France, there is a night of tribute to the fallen in the army, as there is everywhere else. During the night of tribute to the fallen, the name of the officer in question is mentioned, and it is said, died for France. They do not train him to serve his country, they train him to serve their state. And in many African states, there are plenty of such officers. It must be this way, for everyone. To say that Africa must understand that we have the potential to be self-sufficient, to be independent, to be sovereign. This battle will continue within the AES, and we will continue to join hands and unite. Long live a united and prosperous Africa.
Dear teachers, you who are represented here, today, the world of education, those who impart knowledge, who must educate in the values specific to Burkina Faso, who must educate in patriotic values, be greeted once again, embrace your profession wholeheartedly, for the future of our nation depends on you. If you educate these young children well, we will have a better Burkina tomorrow. And if you fail, our homeland will have failed. Remember, the imperialists are conducting what they call today the fourth generation war. The main objective of this war is to ensure that for generations and generations, our nations can never build themselves. They want to ensure that these children grow up in a climate of terror, of violence, unable to distinguish right from wrong. And only you, by playing these roles, can lead them to distinguish right from wrong to become good citizens. Because for them, if children grow up in such a climate, we have several generations that will never be able to make peace, who will kill each other, because for them, the rule would be war. Look at some nations in Africa that have never known peace for decades. That's exactly what they have done there, and ensure that Burkina Faso does not end up in this situation. The future of our nation rests in your hands, and I urge you to take this mission head on and transform our successors, our society, so that tomorrow we have citizens worthy of the name. And you promise me here that you will do it. Thank you. Very much. To you then, dear, to improve living and working conditions. The actors in this world that I mentioned, the four domains mainly that I just cited. The other layers, it will come gradually. That is why we have launched several initiatives, both in the agricultural field, in education, health, and also in community development. And through these educational initiatives, we want to build our schools, our major schools here. Train our elites so that they can serve the Burkina Faso. That is why I would say to you to go all out so that we can establish these elite schools there, so that these brains do not end up outside. Because for a long time, imperialists have always drawn brains from here through scholarships. Once they are there, they no longer return to the country. I do not want these brains that are here to end up outside and not serve our country. Ensure that these initiatives succeed, and that we can establish the polytechnic and technological universities we need, so that these children can express all their talents and work for the benefit of our homeland. This is our mission. And finally, to the brave defense and security forces, to the volunteers for the defense of the homeland, I thank you.
If we make the effort to always be alongside the private sector, it is also a message to encourage them to continue in this direction, because they have understood our message of industrialization, of creating jobs for the Burkinabe youth. Investing is a risk. Every investment is a risk, but one must have boldness and courage. And if they had the courage to invest, it doesn't go unnoticed, as he said so well. I think the ministry has also done everything to support and advise them. And with the postal bank, as well, as he mentioned. This is a message to tell others who are still hesitant to venture into industrialization that now is the time, because this is the very first detergent production unit in Burkina Faso. Since Burkina has existed, we have been importing detergents. How many jobs are created? And the national market needs these detergents. So we will continue to encourage all those who have taken the initiative to venture into industrialization. Support them and help them move forward so that our country becomes industrialized and prosperous. This is what led us to be present and to help.
This video, I show you Ouagadougou, the capital city of Burkina Faso, like never seen before, so you can see how vibrant and how people in the city go about their normal businesses. Before I tell you how rich the country Burkina Faso is, here are some of my first impressions of the capital city. Throughout my tour of the city, I did not see any military or police officers harassing civilians on the street. There is a high sense of security alertness among the people. One thing that impressed me the most is the fact that with all the sanctions and difficulties fighting insurgencies, Burkina Faso is still able to run a modern public transportation system. In my 48-hour stay in the city, I did not see a power outage for even a minute. I learned that constant power outages used to be a big problem in the country, but now there has been great improvement. Lastly, I must say Burkinabe are very kind people. Despite security concerns, people in the city are still kind enough to offer Lyft in their bikes. There are no Uber or taxi apps operating in the city.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an adjective. I got a vendetta against people who patented being negative when you should be getting after it. I got facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I can roast, I can gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past and the pettiness, a reflection of the emptiness, hilarious, you think you're worth my time, you're delirious, mysterious, because you hide behind a fake exterior, inferior, you know I'll always be a bit superior, get off of me, this ain't no humble brag, I want you to hear words, you can say them back, I want you to feel free from the chains that last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been doing pretty well, I never got anyone's help, I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Some being incompetent, mental health is confidence, dreams is modestness. I'm not here to save the day, that's for you to take away. I can play a million mind games, but it's not to say something not illogical, something that is topical. Rub it on and let you go, make yourself unstoppable. Dreams are irresponsible, but they're always possible. If you just believe, you could be so remarkable. Thoughts in my head, a collage and they spread. I'll be great one day, going off of my meds. No, I'm not giving up, no, I'm not giving in. I will make it to the top, taking off in the wind. I gotta make it. I'm saving every day to taste it. I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that
Ibrahim Traoré is building Africa's most advanced hospital in Bobo Dioulasso. You heard that right, tales of this extraordinary project, why it matters for Burkina Faso, West Africa, and the entire African continent. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the updates we'll be bringing you as this monumental hospital approaches completion. Why should you care about this hospital? Well, let's start by considering a question. Why do so many African leaders seek medical care abroad? 500 beds and 9 functional departments including emergency services, medical technology, consultation areas, educational facilities, and even residential apartments for medical experts. It's clear that this is no ordinary hospital. The construction of this hospital, overseen by a partnership between the Burkinabe government and a Chinese construction firm, represents a massive investment of 60 billion CFA francs. What makes this hospital stand out even further is that it will feature cutting-edge medical equipment, providing a level of care that will rival hospitals not only in Africa, but across the globe. You might be asking, why is this so important? Well, this hospital could help keep millions of dollars that are currently spent on medical tourism within Africa, where it's desperately needed. For years, African elites have flown to Europe, Asia, and America for medical treatments, draining the continent of valuable resources. Ibrahim Traore's vision for this hospital is to change that narrative. Across West Africa, there's a shortage of high-quality hospitals. Many citizens, especially in rural areas, suffer due to a lack of access to adequate healthcare facilities. When they do have access, the quality of care is often substandard, forcing those with means to seek treatment abroad. Ray is showing that it is possible to build top-tier medical infrastructure in Africa. This brings us back to the Bobo Dioulasso University Hospital. Not only will it offer world-class medical care to the people of Burkina Faso, but it will also serve as a training ground for future doctors, nurses, and medical professionals. This hospital will help stem the brain drain that has seen many of Africa's brightest healthcare professionals leave for better opportunities abroad. Now, let's talk about how this hospital fits into the broader context of West Africa's fight for true independence.
Hello guys, you are watching official Kingsbridge TV. Ope lifestyle, Ope talks on history, Ope talks on, heritage, culture. The right place to watch official Kingsbridge TV. To YouTube and subscribe to our channel. She said, let's talk segment. You will know everything pertaining our rear and planetary and everything you want to know about marriage and relationship. Kingsbridge TV. Moments delivered.
Counterparts in Mali and Niger is leading the charge for real sovereignty, not just politically but also economically. Building this hospital is more than just a health project. It's a symbol of that sovereignty. It's a message that says, we don't need to rely on foreign countries for basic needs like healthcare. We can build our own world-class facilities right here. Think about it. How many times have African nations been forced to beg for loans, aid, or expertise from former colonial powers? Ibrahim Traore is proving that this dependence is not necessary. The completion of this hospital is not just a victory for Burkina Faso, but for the entire AES coalition. It stands as a beacon of hope for other African nations, showing that with determination and smart governance, Africa can achieve greatness on its own terms. One thing that stands out about the Bobo Dioulasso Hospital is the speed of delivery. Construction began in February 2022, and now, in less than 2 years, the hospital is almost 80% complete. Think about that for a moment. How often do we hear of large government projects being completed on time in Africa? Sadly, too often, we see projects abandoned halfway, budget overruns, and corruption. But this hospital is different. It's a testament to the focus and commitment of Ibrahim Traore's government. During a recent site visit, the Minister of Health, along with other high-ranking officials, expressed satisfaction with the progress, where large-scale projects often drag on for years or even decades, and it becomes clear that this project is something special. Let's now talk about the many gains this hospital will bring to Burkina Faso and the region. First and foremost, there are the health benefits. The hospital will provide much-needed care to thousands of people in the Upper Basins region and beyond. But it goes beyond that. It will also create jobs, both directly and indirectly. From the construction workers who have been building the hospital to the doctors, nurses, and support staff who will eventually work there, this hospital
que le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré avait parlé est maintenant prêt. Invitez-moi tous les gens qui disaient que ce n'était pas possible. Oui, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré est arrivé au Burkina Faso. La première des choses, il a parlé de l'usine de tomates et il a invité tous les Burkinabés à se réunir pour qu'on crée l'entrepreneuriat communautaire. Et grâce aux populations burkinabées, c'est enfin prêt. Le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré sera à Bobo Dioulasso et à la maison de la culture de Bobo Dioulasso ce samedi 31 août 2024 à partir de 9h. On invite toutes les populations de Bobo Dioulasso et tous les gens qui sont à côté de sortir massivement. Massivement. Regardez très bien. On va inaugurer l'usine de tomates pour tous les gens qui disaient que ce n'était pas possible. Oui, c'est possible. Tout est possible avec les Africains qui sont réveillés, qui sont conscients, qui savent que pour s'en sortir, il faut s'en sortir par nous-mêmes. Tout est possible. Ce samedi, le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré va inaugurer ça. Pour tous les gens qui disaient que ce n'était pas possible, moi je vais vous voir sur les commentaires. Dites, je me suis trompé sur le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré. Oui, parce que ce monsieur, il est capable de tout. Vous ne pouvez rien faire contre l'étoile qui brille. L'étoile du capitaine Ibrahim Traoré brille et personne ne peut éteindre, sauf Dieu. Donc du coup, il a dit, il a fait.
Shot to this bridge. Moment to leave it.